How you doing? I'm Bob from Bob R Photos, and this is a Yashica 8 T2 for turret, 2-lens movie camera, double 8 movie film. And I use this camera to shoot a short film at Fort Moultrie down in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. This is a neat camera. This here, you slide to 1.3 millimeter lens. This is this lens, and the bottom lens is a wide angle at a 6.5, and you slide it up and it changes the viewfinder vision inside. Camera set to 16 frames per second for shooting, and the 1.3 millimeter lens goes all the way down to a 1.4 f-stop up to an f/22, and from infinity down to 1.5 feet for close-ups. And it's a pretty cool camera, works really good. No batteries, it's all wound. You just wind it up and the film goes in this side here, and this is your take-up spool. Okay, and this is a bad roll of film. I use this for testing to make sure the cameras that I buy work. This side of the film, the shiny side, is always down, and it's really easy to load. You just pop it in here, wind it up a little bit, get some on there, and then it goes around these posts. You just follow the lines inside, goes through the film gate, comes around the other post, and just make sure to seat it down inside the film gate. Okay, and then you can run the button here on the front. Just make sure it works. It's pulling up the film, and the film gate will be closed when you close the lid and turn it. Then you make sure it's wound all the way up to the fullest. We're just going to do a couple because just to show you. And then that's it. You can hear it running. Always make sure your film cap is off though, but I'm just showing you this as an example. And then you'll be able to see some of the footage I shot in black and white with this camera. My favorite camera is the Movikon, the Movikon 8. I have a couple of those. I'll show you in a second. This here is the Movikon 8. It was made in West Germany in the late 50s. I think this one is actually 1958. And this camera I like a lot better than the Yashica. The Yashica is a good camera, don't get me wrong, but I like the Movikon a lot better. I shot some film with these that you'll see at a later time, and this actually loads a lot different. The film gate is here, and when this is loaded, and I'll show you this in another video, it looks like a butterfly when the film's actually in there. And so coming up in another couple seconds will be the film I shot at Fort Moultrie with this. It has, the black and white film has a little bit of what I call glitches in it, lines going through it, but that's to be expected with these old cameras, and that's why I like the Movikon better, because it didn't have that. The camera's like perfect, but like I said, this runs good. It does shoot. It has a little imperfections in the film, but in the long run it does show what it's doing, and it did work. And I send my film out to the Film Photography Project out there, Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and they're great people, and they get the film back as quick as possible. Alright, let's off to the little film I shot. Here's the black and white film I shot with the Yashica 8. And this is Fort Moultrie Visitor Center down Sullivans Island near Mount Pleasant. And the fort's across the street. We got here nice and early as the park just opened. And basically we had the whole fort to ourselves, myself and Jeff from Selective Imagery. And I think there was like one other person in there, but this is the outside of the fort before we went inside. Now this fort's pretty old. This is like the third version of it. It started in the Revolutionary War. It progressed all the way up into the 40s during World War II. And here you can see some of the cannons from the Civil War era. Throughout the fort, you'll see these are gun casements where they kept ammunition and powder. You'll see a couple of these throughout the fort. This section of the fort obviously was from the 40s during World War II, where they put in these gun batteries that are made of concrete and stuff, and those trees back then weren't there, and they can see right out over into the Charleston Harbor for the coastal defense. And there's one of the guns that are left from that period. It's a little hard to see, but this is a 15-star flag that flies over the fort. This shows you how they mined the harbor for the defenses from the late 1800s to the late 1930s. And here's Battery Bingham, and there's Jeff from Selective Infantry taking photos. There's a cargo ship going by out there. This is the end of the first side of the film. You flip the AA film over and you shoot the other side. And that's looking out over the bay at the Fort Sumter's out there. Another one of those casements that held munitions. Here's some of the guns at the fort. I believe they're 15-inch Rodmans. There's some pretty hefty weapons. And there's Jeff again. This is looking across the fort. A little washed out looking, but you can see the cannon that are there. This is looking back at the fort. We're down on the beach, and that there is from World War II. That was a radar shack that was put on top of the fort to detect subs and whatnot up and down the coast during the war. And this is Cannon Row. These are all different guns that were purchased by the military during that time period of Civil War. And that's also part of the World War II section, but it was closed the day we were there. And that's looking back out at Fort Sumter. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this film. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like to help us keep growing, hit that share button to share with your family and friends. And if you choose not to like it and you want to give it that thumbs down, don't hide behind your keyboard. Tell me why you did so. Thank you again for watching.